He's 47 years old. He's got his life together, financially stable, and seems to be emotionally available. But when she asks him that dreaded question, where is this relationship going? He goes completely silent. And it's not because he doesn't care about her. It's because somewhere along the line, after years of experience, he stopped believing that love was worth the risk. This isn't a story about men running away from commitment. It's about men running from disappointment and the quiet, unspoken truth behind why so many older men are choosing to stay single. Well, it's not what you think. Imagine this scenario. You're on a date, sitting across from someone who seems to check every single box on your list. They're kind, they're present, they're genuinely interested in you. But the moment the conversation shifts toward the future, you see something in their eyes just dim. It's not anger, it's not fear either. It's a deep, profound exhaustion. The kind of exhaustion that comes from years and years of showing up, giving your all, only to realize you were just performing a role in someone else's life, not living an authentic relationship. Many older men aren't staying single because they can't find a partner. They staying single because they've already been someone they didn't even recognize in the mirror, and they would much rather be alone than ever go back to being that person again. Here's the part that nobody really talks about for a lot of men, especially those in their 40s, 50s, and beyond. Being single isn't a sign of failure. It's a boundary. It's a protective wall they've built around their own well-being. After years spent in relationships that required them to shrink themselves, to perform, to constantly fix things, to prove their worth, they've had a profound realization. Peace is more valuable than partnership. But let's go a little deeper. Because this isn't about being bitter or just giving up on love entirely. It's about a complete recalibration of their priorities and their sense of self. Psychologically, from a young age, men are often conditioned to equate their worth with their utility. They're constantly asking themselves, am I providing enough? Am I protecting my loved ones? Am I enough? And in a relationship, that pressure just compounds. He often becomes the designated emotional repairman, the silent absorber of all the tension in the house, the one who's always expected to have the answer and hold it all together, even when he himself is falling apart on the inside. So after a divorce, a painful breakup, or just years of that slow emotional erosion, he finally looks in the mirror and asks himself a life-changing question. Who am I when I am not constantly trying to be what someone else needs me to be? And that single question, it changes everything. Research actually shows that men and women often process emotional loss very differently. Where women tend to seek out community, friends, and connection to heal, men often tend to withdraw. And this isn't out of coldness or a lack of feeling. It's a mechanism for some. They go into a sort of emotional hibernation to rebuild themselves in silence. They test out their own company, see what it feels like to be alone. And sometimes, they discover they actually prefer it. Not because they don't want love, but because they've learned the hard way that love without mutual respect, love without personal space, love without honesty, that isn't love at all. It's performance art, and they're just done being on stage. But here's the part of the story that might surprise you. It's not that these older men don't believe in love anymore. It's that they don't believe in pretending anymore. They've seen firsthand what happens when two people stay together out of habit, or out of fear of being alone, or because of the sunk cost fallacy of all the years they've invested. And they've made a radical choice to only show up in a relationship if they can show up whole, as their authentic selves. And what that means in practice is no more half-hearted dates, just to pass the time. No more getting into relationships built on a foundation of loneliness instead of genuine chemistry. It means no more saying I love you just to fill an awkward silence. And yes, sometimes that means being alone for a lot longer than they expected. But there's something quietly powerful happening just beneath the surface. These men aren't bitter loners. They're becoming incredibly selective. They're no longer out there chasing validation through romancing. Instead, they're learning how to validate themselves from the inside out. And ironically, that's the very process that makes them the most emotionally available they have ever been. They're not desperate for a connection to complete them. They are open to connection, but only on terms that honor the integrity and well-being of both people in the relationship. So here's the big twist. The man who seems emotionally distant or unavailable, he might just be the healthiest man in the room. So, what does this all mean for the rest of us? If you a woman out there wondering why all the good men seem so emotionally distant, consider this. Maybe he's not distant. Maybe he's just done pretending that distance doesn't exist when it clearly does. Maybe he has learned that real, lasting intimacy isn't built on neediness. It's built on two whole people making a conscious choice to be together. And if you're a man watching this right now, and you recognize yourself in these words, please know this. Choosing yourself is not a selfish act. It is the most honest and courageous thing you can possibly do. Because the right relationship, when it comes along, won't ask you to abandon the person you've worked so hard to become. It'll celebrate it. The real truth is, older men who are staying single aren't giving up on love. They're just giving up on the version of love that costs them their peace of mind. And maybe that's not a tragedy. Maybe it's a necessary evolution. So, here asks the final question I want to leave you with. What if the person you're re-waiting for isn't waiting for you to be perfect? What if they're just waiting for you to be real? Maybe the loneliest feeling in the world isn't being single. Maybe it's being in a relationship where you still feel completely alone. If any of this resonated with you, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, please share this video with them. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do for someone is to give them the permission to choose themselves first. Thanks for watching.